this leads us to what is looking, and maybe someone else out there. I don't know the particulars of the Reebok deal, but the Reebok deal does not sound good.
It just
doesn't sound good.
It looks like it's going to cause a lot of controversy, and you know what? At any cost, it's going to cost the UFC some money because it's going to cause some grumblings, and it already has with their current employees and some of their former employees.
Word on the street is the fighters are going to get together and create a class action lawsuit and sue Reebok for the lack of free market.
And a union might come after that.
And what that means is, me as a fighter, I can no longer go get sponsorships. And some of these guys, Brendan Vera sat there. Was it Brendan Vera?
No, Brendan Schwab.
Brendan Schwab sat there and said in front of Joe.
What's wrong with you and Brendan? Okay. That's, I can do.
One's not in the UFC.
One is Brandon and one is Brendan, okay?
Okay,
it's kind of like me, water and water.
And I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You said water and water?
Yeah, water and water.
Okay, so Schwab, right? Brandon Schwab was on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, he's always on.
Y'all need to watch that. Joe Rogan kind of told him, you're
gave him some good advice.
But you're not that good, and you're never going to be that good. You're at your precipice. You're just going down now, son.
Because you know what he's worried about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was. He's like, you know, you're taking a lot of shots to the head and shit, you know, and it's...
And other shots he was taking are in the wallet, because the Reebok signed an exclusivity deal with the UFC, and the UFC now have told all the fighters you can only wear Reebok stuff. And they're like, but Reebok doesn't pay me. All these sponsors do, and all these sponsors are like, we're not paying you now because you can't wear our stuff.
Which I found very funny, because now you got this signing of CM Punk, who obviously, one of the reasons he left the WWE was because of the same kind of shit. Like, he potentially had sponsors, and fucking Vince McMahon was like, you know what, fuck you. I ain't letting you have them. Meanwhile, I'm going to let Lesnar have them. And at some point in time, you're going to see favoritism with this UFC shit. Remember I said this guy... Yep.
Favoritism?
I think so, George.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because let me tell you, this sponsorship or this Reebok deal is only based on your rankings. Well, who does the rankings?
Yeah.
The Diaz brothers got booted for inactivity, but you have guys who stay. Cain Velasquez? Yeah. You're going to kick Cain Velasquez off and not give him his Reebok money because...
And we know he's a great fighter, but if he hasn't fought in a long time and he's ranked #1, and so he's going to make more money than everybody, even though he's not fighting? Oh, GSP, if he comes back right now.
Where are you going to rank him?
Yeah, let me.
So he immediately gets Reebok money?
Let me tell you this, okay? We know right now. You guys tell me, what do you think with this Reebok deal? GSP is, right now, if that motherfucker came back to fight, the fucking Fertitas and Dana White would have it fucking mutual. They'd be like, oh, that's GSP's coming back. Right? GSP's coming back, right? Now, what are they going to do when he has to walk in the ring with his Under Armour shit?
He's not. He's not. They're going to have to pay him.
Right.
So you're telling me you have to drop your... So Under Armour, or the Under Armour would drop GSP?
So Under Armour's going to drop GSP, or are they going to say, okay, you know what? We're going to allow you to come in with your Under Armour shit.
No, they won't. Huh? Reebok will say it's a breach of contract. So...
What happens? Because I'm going to tell you what, nobody's pulling money like that guy. And we know he's got an Under Armour contract. There's going to be a lot of issues that are going to rise from this. This is going to be very interesting over the next, how it plays out.
And they're trying to say this is going to help a lower tiered fighter. Well, and then here's the other question that I had.
It's going to help a lower tier fighter. Are they going to get a piece of that money?
How is this money being distributed? Because here's another point I brought up. Okay, Reebok used to have the NFL deal. That's not there no more. They've never had the NBA. That's an Adidas one. So, and then you have hockey. Look, I'm not banging on hockey.
They don't have a fucking soccer one. Adidas has got that locked down.
So they have hockey is the only major sport they have, and now they've signed a deal with the UFC. They also
Les Mills body pump.
Wow. And they also have CrossFit. So I know CrossFit's even smaller than the UFC in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. But then in the CrossFit world, one of the major gyms has their own custom Nike shoe. And I'm going to tell you what, Nike will look there and go, oh, Reebok's paying you 5, 10, 20 million? Here's how we'll double it. Just because Nike's got balls that are that big and they will fuck Reebok.
And Under Armour, if they don't, Under Armour does.
How does Reebok pay out? Do they only pay when you fight?
Yeah.
Do they only pay certain months? Do they only pay certain rankings? So is it the only top 15 when there's 30 guys in the class? What if I'm...
I
what
mean,
are the particulars?
I'm wondering if they're going to sponsor some of the bonuses. Like, it'd be like the Reebok fight bonus, you know? Reebok fight of the fight. Maybe they'll do it that way. Who knows?
So then Dana's going to then take that $50,000 he was going to give instead and then disperse it maybe?
I don't know.
Because if Dana was giving you $50,000 for fight of the night, now if Reebok's going to give that, I hope Dana takes that $50,000 and gives it to other people.
That's the one way it could work for better for lower tier fighters.
I'm going to tell you what, motherfucking...
Is for he say, hey, you know, we timed this deal with Reebok and they're going to be paying fight bonuses and now we can give the fighters a larger base.
I tell you, but
knowing them, they might try to I don't know.
But then here's my other thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a large sponsor
mm-hmm.
like Reebok, and you have guys like, I don't know, Conor McGregor, who's got an upcoming fight against your family member, Dennis Seaver.
Mm-hmm.
He went out there and said Dennis Seaver looks like a Nazi.
Who said that?
Conor McGregor said Dennis Seaver looks like a Nazi.
I'm kind of liking this guy, Conor.
I love him. If an athlete that you sponsor, technically Reebok sponsors every athlete in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
We've had rape jokes,
mm-hmm.
we've had abuse jokes,
mm-hmm.
we've had now anti-Semitic jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happens? Is the UFC going to be quick to cut you?
Yeah.
They've been quick to discipline. But what if it's somebody like Conor McGregor, who's got a big mouth, who backs it up, puts asses in seats, makes a comment like that? Reebok can't be associated with that.
You know what I think they should do? I mean, and I'm sure somebody will be able to quickly shoot this down, but I think there should be tiers in the UFC. There should be pay-per-view tiers. So your best fighters, and you have a certain amount of fighters that are in each class. And when you're in the ranking, the top, let's say 15 fighters in each class or whatever, just say top 15 fighters in each class or top 10 fighters in each class are pay-per-view fighters. They're the higher tier. And they get locked into that higher tier. Maybe something works out. If you drop to a certain tier during your contract, you get paid that, whatever. Then you have you have a second tier of fighters that's maybe ranking from 10 to 20, and these are on your free events, your Fox or whoever gets sponsored. Maybe it'll be FX again, or maybe it'll continue to be Fox. I don't know. And then you have your Fight Pass tier of fighters.
The fuck is a Fight Pass?
I don't know. I was dreaming about it.
Fight Pass.
It was weird because I was dreaming. I woke up and I was like, Fight Pass. And I was like, it was kind of like a nightmare because it was this shit I was dreaming about and I had to pay for it to watch all shitty cards. It was a nightmare, everybody. But anyway, but something like that, some type of tier system, something, I don't know, and maybe that's what they could do. I don't know, because one of the problems with the UFC is there's so many fucking fighters.
Right. So I don't know
and
how
you can't pay all those
Where's Reebok
fighters.
coming up with the money? That's what I want to know. They don't have the revenue stream. They just don't.
Yeah.
Unless it's going to be a pittance.
But I guess where you would get fucked up with that is people were trying to move up the rankings. So you had a fighter that was in one level, then,
Then again, who decides?
Yeah.
Then we get the ranking system's just not, anyway. And then
they have a whole panel like the college football.
And then, I mean, CM Punk is 36-year-old.
36-year-old. CM Punk is 36-year-old.
CM Punk is 36 years old. He's never, ever fought an MMA fight. He's never fought a boxing match. He is a wrestler. And I'm not even talking about a real wrestler. He's talking about a fake wrestler. So,
but he's got skills. Excuse me, I'm yawning.
Because this it makes no sense.
Well, I mean,
I'm the UFC. We are not the wrestling. We are not wrestling. We are not wrestling. Oh, CM Punk? Oh, hey, Brock Lesnar? Hulk Hogan? Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I mean,
doesn't know his weight. He sort of doesn't know who he's going to fight. Doesn't know where he's going to train, but he's going to fight sometime in 2015.
Well, I think right off the bat, I don't know what CM Punk walks around at, but I mean, obviously he's one that's lived a very straight edge life. He's going to have to he's not ripped up when he was wrestling. He's going to have to suck some fucking weight. Middle welter, I mean, and he sees that now. He can't walk. I mean, right now, if he came and fought at the way he fought, he wrestled at, he'd be a heavyweight. Come on. That would last for 2 seconds. He couldn't fight light heavy. He would get destroyed. So, I mean, middle is pushing it. I mean, he's got to try to suck weight and get down to 76. I don't know how big.
And the thing is, he's never even wrestled. So, sucking weight's the tough part. Like, cutting all that weight.
Yeah.
So, and then
what's his weight say? Go back to that. What's that having weight?
It doesn't. Doesn't have his weight at all. I don't know what this little. I mean, the guy weighs.
How's that? He's 6'2".
He's 6'2".
I mean, so right there for him to be, 6'2". I mean, the welterweights that are 6'2", Carlos Condit. I mean, look how thin he is. CM Punk is way bigger than Carlos Condit. I mean, it's just
right. It says his build weight was 218.
218. So that means, and he's soft, a little soft sometimes. He probably have to get 218. Maybe he wasn't 218. They probably bumped that up. Maybe he could. So he'd probably be a welter. He's probably walking around 205, 200. He probably has to suck. He probably has to suck down to 70.
Brooks.
Phil
70. Brooks is his real name. Philip.
Well,
Brooks.
Phil Brooks needs to lose 30 pounds to be a welterweight. Middleweight, he's going to struggle.
He's going to get fucked up.
I mean, but you know what? It might be like a Mickey Rourke thing, man. I'm just saying. I mean, you saw Mickey Rourke.
Dude, if they do this Kimbo Slice shit and bring somebody in and ask him to take a dive, when you got guys like Ben Askren out there who you just refuse to sign, I don't get it. I don't understand why you don't sign a guy who's 14-0 an Olympic wrestler.
And he's really into it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, here's a guy who's poured his heart into it and has been fighting. That's been fighting in Bellator.
And I think that's where, you know what, George? I think that's where sometimes people are like, oh, give CM Punk a chance. That's fine. We understand that. We're not hating on CM Punk. I think he's a great guy. I mean, but I just feel bad for him getting a shot when you got guys like Ben Askren, that's really a really good fighter and is dedicated to fighting, and this has been his life, and now CM Punk is like, okay, I want to change my arenas, and I get a shot, and this other guy who's put his heart and soul into this for his life, the majority of his life, is not getting a shot.
I mean, he's an Olympic level wrestler. Like, what? I mean, look how many Olympic level wrestlers don't want to have a good...
Dude. Nobody knows who that guy was, except the interweb, Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it the fuck up.
No Mariota, no Muschamp to Auburn, no Bryce Harper skipping out on Fan Day.
Bryce Harper skipped out on Fan Day? We got to talk about that shit. What's up with Bryce, man? Call him on the back phone.
He's done, dude.
What's up?
You know what his favorite team is, right?
Who?
Bryce Harper's favorite team?
What's on?
It's not the Nationals.
What is it?
Littlemore North.
The Yankees?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he might go.
Oh, he will. Because I'm going to tell you right now. Right now, he will forever be compared to Mike Trout. And Mike Trout has put up... Mike Trout in 3 years put up that my dad was telling me because he's a baseball junkie. He's like, yeah, he put up as many numbers as so-and-so. You know what the problem is? That guy's been in the league 8 years.
Yeah.
He's done. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like his daddy doesn't fit in. I don't think he's going to be a national.
Yeah, he's a Vegas boy, but let him go. Fuck it, man. I mean, he's going to have an inflated salary, and you know what? His numbers have been whatever. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that fucking. I mean, I look at some of the Nationals young acquisitions this year, and they were fucking great. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, people would say, "Oh man, he's going to do this, going to just." He hasn't done it yet. We saw what Trout has done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it.
And look, more than likely, I will fucking rattle Kevin's cage, and we'll either film again, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday, to talk about this weekend in football. Because late in the season, there's some interesting things going on.
There is.
There's a quarterback controversy in Washington. And I don't mean at the position. I mean the guy has in controversial standing with his ownership, with his coaches, with what's going on. Then you also have this thing going on in Cleveland, which I love.
Right.
And this is exactly what we expected to happen with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
You either love him or hate him. I think the kid's going to do really well. So we'll have that to talk about, and we'll have other shit to talk about.
We'll have a lot of shit to talk about. I mean, we'll have the college football playoffs we're going to talk about.
Mariota won the Heisman. Muschamp is out at Florida, and now he's going to be the defensive coordinator at Auburn.
At Auburn, and he's getting a lot of money to do it, which I think is a smart move. Sometimes some of these coaches that didn't have success.
$1.6 million a season.
Yeah, and you're not getting any heat. All you got to do is make sure Auburn has a good defense, and then, you know what?
And you're going to get top-tier talent. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're recruiting for UCF.
Yeah. Put all the heat on the head coach. I'd sit back and make almost $2 million to sit back and be a D coordinator at college level. Fuck that.
So, like I said, I'm going to make Kevin shoot Tuesday or Wednesday. And
that's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Deuces, bitch.
Enjoy the graphics.
Later. Adios, deuces.
Peace.